DAZN is the home of boxing, with over 150 live fights a year.
It's over! There's no way back from this, surely!
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
How do you like it? How do you like it?
That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
That is what sport means. That is what the EuroLeague trophy means.
Are you not entertained?
I'm not supposed to be cheering, but this is X Series. I can do whatever I want.
Everything is difficult in this life, so still you need to be on it.
It all comes down to tonight. Don't miss the biggest night in MMA. PFL is more than a fight.
Catching up on any NFL game is easier than ever before.
Looking to the end zone for the win! Oh my gosh, one of the great games you'll ever see.
The competition is back, and the UEFA Women's Champions League looks set to be bigger and better than ever before.
It's their time, a night to remember.
The following program is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language, and flashing imagery.
Hello and welcome to a brand new edition of ARIEL X ADE right here on the global home of boxing, dare I say the undisputed global home of boxing, DAZN. It is great to be here on a lovely Tuesday afternoon in New York City, and this time around, my friends, we ain't flying solo. No. My co-pilot is back. My co-host is back from his séjour to parts unknown. It was a week-long birthday bash. It's 44-year-olds and 6-year-olds who have week-long birthday bashes. There he is, the one and only. Doesn't look a day over, 34. 34, okay, you look fantastic. Good. We were singing your praises.
Thank you.
How was your time off?
You know what? It was good. It was really good. I was gutted not to be doing the show. I felt bad for you, but I mean, you do this. You can do this in your sleep.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is the ARIEL show plus Ade. You don't even need me sometimes. You don't need me sometimes, but it's good to be back. The show's nothing without me, right?
No, of course.
and I'm back now, but no, it was nice. I don't normally take a break for my birthday. I normally just continue like the world continues moving. But I thought, you know what? We're going to press pause.
Yeah.
We're going to go to Dubai.
Ooh.
We're going to chill out. We're going to stay in an expensive hotel. We're going to drink expensive champagne. We're going to eat expensive food. And we're going to come back and count the pennies.
I love it. Well, you deserve it. And we were very lonely without you. I was feeling a little bit, worried, uncomfortable, trepidatious. But Darren Barker filled in very, very well. And then we had a lovely chat with Jim Lampley. I mean, Jim Lampley was tremendous. The tears were flowing. So it was great to have him on. But it is even better to have you back here and now, Ade. And we have a lot to discuss. A lot has happened since we last spoke. Very busy weekend that has come and gone in the world of boxing, and a lot more to come this weekend. And it's a very exciting time. A lot of people not sure what to believe today, Ade. April 1st, who's lying, who's telling the truth, who's I don't like that type of thing.
I'm done with it.
I feel like people come to us. They come to us for the truth, for the facts. You can't abuse that. You can't take that for granted. And so this is a very big deal. This is a very big deal. Today, April 1st, marks the dawn of a new era right here at DAZN. It's the start of the Queensberry era. And everyone's very excited about that. We shall be talking about that today on the program in a bit. In about 15 minutes' time, we'll be talking to Pat Brown, the Olympian turned pro who had a fantastic, dare I say, sensational debut this past Friday in Manchester at the Matchroom Next Gen card. And then a little after that, a guy who likes to go by the name the Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder. The big man himself stopping by. Not bad for a Tuesday afternoon.
That's crazy. Honestly, that's crazy. Like, I'll let people at home give a bit of insight to this. Ariel kind of put this in the group chat, like, okay, Deontay Wilder's coming. I was like, stop. I was like, Ariel, stop it. We ain't getting the Bronze Bomber. But we are. We are getting the Bronze Bomber. I can't believe it. Obviously, announced his return to the ring in June. I've got a few questions for the big man. I've got a few serious questions for the big man.
As do I. And we'll react to his return and everything after we get a chance to speak to him. Let's hear from him because, yes, the news did come out that he is returning to the ring in June, but he hasn't spoke about it yet. So let's hear him out and then react to it all. Back to Queensberry. In case you missed it, new era, Queensberry joining DAZN. And there's a lot of big things coming, a lot of big plans. Of course, this weekend we've got Joe Joyce against Filip Hrgović, a big-time card. But first, take a quick look at this. This is what's to come right here on DAZN.
This is the moment the world has been waiting for.
Here we go! This is where the best fight the best.
This is where history is made.
Queensberry.
The biggest fights.
And the biggest nights.
Home of champions.
Home of knockouts.
There's no way back from this!
The home of the future.
And this is it!
The global home of boxing.
Queensberry, exclusively on DAZN.
There it is. Ade, if you're a longtime fan of the sport, you remember Mr. Frank Warren saying, what is it? Dead Zone app, this and that. So to hear him say it like that is amazing. And there's the first card right there. This Saturday at the Co-op Live, the brand spanking new Co-op Live, headlined by Joe Joyce versus Filip Hrgović. We'll get into that one in a moment. But I do believe you had an interesting lunch date earlier today.
I did. I was invited by Frank Warren and his team to come down and, break bread. As they say, right? I mean, yeah, in a swanky restaurant in central London, a restaurant I would never go to because I can't afford to go to. And he asked me to come down and sit next to him. I sat right next to the big man, and we had a nice little chat about what he wants from me and, how excited he is to kind of go ahead with this deal on DAZN. I hear it's a 5-year contract, plenty of fights, plenty of fighters. I felt like he kind of quizzed me. He was like, Ade, come on, name your favorite fighters on Queensberry. And I was like, is this a trick question? Do you know who I am? I'm Ade Oladipo. I can name 100. And I gave him my top 3. But look, it's exciting times. It is exciting times. Frank seems to be rejuvenated, if you like. Obviously, look, him and Eddie are friends-ish, I say. But he wants to be the top dog on DAZN. And that's not just going ahead trying to take on Eddie. That's taking on Golden Boy. That's taking on everyone that's got DAZN contracts. So it's a good time for boxing fans. If you are a DAZN subscriber, that means you're getting big fights every single week now. So in terms of value for money, I mean, you can't complain. I mean, let's be honest, I know boxing fans like to complain, but you can't really complain with what's coming your way on DAZN in the next sort of few years. It's going to be good. It's exciting. Even exciting for me. I get to present this show on the weekend. I've never presented a Queensberry show before.
Oh, that's fun.
They are the longest shows on planet Earth, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm not asking for more money. I'm just excited to work. I'm excited to work.
Well, what I like about this, and we're not trying to shill here for our employers. We're not, no one asked us to even start the show with this, to be honest. But I do feel like it's significant because I feel like competition always lights a fire under the rest, right? Rising tide lifts all boats, all that stuff and more. And so I do believe, while we see Eddie and Frank being friends and holding hands and all that stuff and more, I do believe now it's like, all right, we want to be the top dogs. And I believe we've seen some of that between Matchroom and Golden Boy. Obviously, there's Misfits and there's MVP, but they kind of, they occupy different lanes. And so now I feel like, okay, there's a new player. I want to see if the others raise their game. And also, by the way, and we haven't talked about your lunch, so I'm putting you on the spot here, but I do wonder, will Queensberry start? There was a time like 6 or so years ago where I think Frank said, like, let's focus on the UK, right? Let's just do everything here. And unlike Matchroom, who we've seen in the likes of Mexico, America, Australia, all over the world, he's really stuck to the UK. Does he have plans to go back outside to expand once again?
I can't tell you exactly where he's going, but I will confirm he's going international, baby.
All right.
He's going international.
That's good.
He really wants to compete with Matchroom. It isn't a case of, okay, let's dominate the UK market. They're doing a good job of the UK market, but they want to go and see what they can do in different territories around the world. And look, they've got fighters that are from these territories. So I feel like they're thinking, okay, we can expand now. And I think they needed a broadcast like DAZN that obviously can go worldwide to do it. So yeah, they are definitely going international. And I think sooner rather than later. Don't be surprised if you hear something about them going international in the summer.
Oh, wow.
That's all I can say.
Okay. I like that. Nice little tease. For those that may be a little unfamiliar with Queensberry, perhaps they're just DAZN watchers. And I know some Queensberry guys have fought over the last year and a half, in large part because of the Riyadh season cards. But who would you say, like, who's the number one draft pick? I think I know who you're going to say, but I just want to confirm.
I was just about to say it, and I've changed my mind.
Oh, wow.
Because you knew who I was going to say. I know you knew who I was going to say. You know I was going to say Moses the Tama.
Yeah. You've changed your mind.
And I feel like, everyone says Moses, so I'm going to be a bit different. I still think Hamza Shiraz has a lot to offer.
Coming off a loss.
I honestly believe that. Coming off a loss, yeah, but a loss in a world title fight, there's no shame in that.
Yeah.
I mean, Moses has got to get to that world title stage first, right? I mean, Daniel Dubois, world champion, Nick Bull, world champion, Lawrence Okoli, former world champion at both cruiserweight and bridgerweight. And there's a man that I think will lace up the gloves again that wasn't in your little piece there, called Tyson Fury. Do I believe he's really retired? No, I don't. I believe he's waiting for a big fight against Anthony Joshua. So they've got so many fantastic fighters. Honestly, it's an incredible stable. Josh Taylor, Lee Wood, Anthony Kakache. I mean, the list goes on. It's actually really thick. When he was reading off the names to me today, I was like, wow, I forgot you had him. So, no, they've got a lot of fighters. I mean, they pretty much run the heavyweight division. I mean, if we're being brutally honest, they've got Joseph Parker, they've got Daniel Dubois, they've got Cabiel, got Lawrence Okoli, got Dillian White, Joe Joyce. So heavyweights is theirs. I think they just want a bit of everything now. But I think the best thing to come out of this is Eddie and Frank now work together. They're both under the same umbrella. There should be no excuses now and no hurdles about making their fighters fight each other.
Yep. Amen. And by the way, just before everyone comes for us, I know the Shiraz fight ended in a draw against Adames, but like I think we all kind of view it.
Oh, yeah, of course.
We all kind of view it as a loss, so that's why I said that. One name that I don't think you mentioned there, you rifled off a ton, is Joe Joyce. And there was a time not that long ago where people thought he would be the next great heavyweight coming out of the UK. And he was climbing through the ranks and he had big wins over the likes of Joseph Parker and Daniel Dubois. And then here he is, loser of 3 of his last 4. And it feels like not that long ago after the 2 losses to Zhilei Zhang, people were saying, this is it, he's done. This feels like, okay, new opportunity, new network, fresh coat of paint. Here's Hrgovic. Okay, you could get a win over a guy who maybe is in a bit of a rough spot as well as of late, coming off the loss to Dubois. Do you feel like Joe can turn it back? I know he's 39, but let's not forget there was once a point not that long ago where we thought that Joseph Parker was done, and look at what he's doing. Look at how hot he is in the year 2025. Does Joe have that in him to be a player once again in the heavyweight division?
I don't want to say never, because I think we have seen some fantastic U-turns in the sport of boxing in the last 12 months, right? You mentioned Joseph Parker, massive U-turn. Daniel Dubois, massive U-turn as well. My fear for Joe is that he's a lot older than both of those guys. He's 39 years of age. That fights, or those fights against Zhilei Zhang took a lot out of him, as did the Chisora one. This for me is do or die. And there's the risk reward here. The risk against fighting Hrgovic is a big one. The reward, if you beat Hrgovic, is enormous. You're back you're basically back. I don't know. I think it's a tough ask. Filip Hrgović, I almost feel like his stock has gone down in the Dubois fight, but it's also gone up because of what Dubois has done after that fight. So I think Filip Hrgović has almost like he's been in a lab since then, just getting ready for an opportunity. Here comes a big opportunity. And I make Filip Hrgović a big favourite in this fight because I just wonder about the punch resistance with Joe Joyce. I hope I'm wrong, because Joe's a great guy. I've spoken to him many a time, but I do wonder, when the egg has been cracked, can the egg be fixed again? I know that's a crap analogy, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And he always had this punch resistance where he could walk through walls. All of a sudden, that punch resistance doesn't look like it's quite there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when he gets hit by Hrgović, because he will. And let's see if Joe can still be the juggernaut. I'm not sure. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I wasn't ready to write him off, but then after the loss to Chisora, I thought, oh, this... we might be at that point. I didn't think he was going to walk away, so I'm not surprised to see him back. But this isn't a gimme fight. This isn't a, let me work myself back in there. This is a guy who, Hrgović, who not that long ago was fighting in a final eliminator for the IBF title. Like, he was right there.
I think this is a harder fight than Dillian White.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah, I think this is harder. And credit to Joe for saying, no, look, I'll take it. I'll stay on the card. I'll make sure the show goes ahead. Many fighters would have said, okay, 1 second, no, we're not doing this. I didn't sign up for this, because Dillian White's on his own comeback trail as well. And I know you mentioned that Hrgović has sort of hit a bit of a bump, but it's still only one bump.
Yeah.
He didn't get stopped per se by Daniel Dubois. It kind of got stopped on cuts as opposed to him getting knocked out or anything. So Hrgović is still very, very live, whereas Dillian White was trying to climb back to being a top boxer. So credit to Joe for taking it, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I'd be shocked if Joe wins this one.
Okay, so that's this coming weekend in Manchester. Let's go back to this past Friday in Manchester. Next Gen card, Matchroom, the much anticipated debut of Pat Brown, the Olympian turned pro, headlining in his debut. And let's be honest, I'll be the first to say, we kind of stuck it to our friends at Matchroom and said, like, you guys, you made a whole big stink about a guy who didn't even medal at the Olympics. Can I take it back? Because I don't want Pat Brown is going to become a cruiserweight champion, and they're going to play that clip of us being like, hey guys, I think you can you chill out just a little bit?
No, the worst thing about that clip is it's me.
Wow.
You're playing it because it's me. I kind of just said,
I want to take it all back.
Calm down.
Can we just beep? I mean, let's take it all back, because I got to be honest, I was blown away. I was blown away by his ferocity, by his punching power, by his presence. That guy is a star. I didn't quite get it initially. I got it now after one fight. You were there live. Do you agree with me?
Dude, it was like a dog on the leash waiting to be let go. Like, there's been so much talk, as you say, from not just from Eddie Hearn, but Sam Jones, as you know, right? Yes. The mouthpiece, Sam Jones, has been saying things like, this is going to be the next superstar. I'm like, all right, Sam, calm down. The noise in that venue, and when he came out, it was like, okay, I'm not here to play. I'm here to put on a show. And look, not everyone can do that on their debut, so I don't recommend everyone have a go and do that. But Pat Brown is exciting. I am on the Pat Brown bandwagon. I am the official cheerleader of this man because he's exciting, and we need exciting fighters in this country, right? All the so-called top dogs are coming to the end. Who are the next breed of exciting fighters? Pat Brown could lead this charge. Honestly, I'm serious. I mean, he's in a division which is red hot in the UK. He's 25, so they don't have to rush him like they've done with other Olympians. You can almost take your time. And as you mentioned, he made his debut as the headline act. That doesn't normally happen. You normally get sandwiched in somewhere in a card in a 4-rounder. He's gone, no, bang, straight away, headline act. Again, he sold a few thousand tickets. I'm excited about this guy. I really am.
All right, so without further ado, let us say hello to Pat Brown, who had a scintillating debut just this past Friday in Manchester. He was the star of the show, and perhaps he was listening to some of that. Pat, congratulations. It's ARIEL, it's ADE, and we have to say, blown away by what you did. I'm sure just a few days later, you're still on cloud nine. What a tremendous debut. You probably couldn't have scripted it any better.
Yeah, lovely to see you both, and thanks for having me on. And yeah, it was some nights I remember. They were marching through the streets of Altrincham beforehand. And yeah, it's been a big build-up, and I'm just happy that it's over and done with now, and people can have a little bit of what I bring to the ring. And yeah, for me following fight now, the pressure won't be as big because people know what they're expecting. And yeah, I'm just glad that it's kind of just, I've rise to the occasion. I've put on a good night for everyone.
I'm wondering about that pressure. Of course, you competed at the Olympics. You've been in the game for quite some time, but here you are making your pro debut as the headliner, and you're in Manchester, and the whole thing is built around you. As Ade said, you weren't sandwiched. They weren't just trying to protect you. That spotlight was gigantic, and it was right on you. Were you feeling that? Were you feeling the nerves, perhaps different than you felt in the past?
A little bit, yeah and no. So in terms of when I was in the hotel, we had everything there, which was good. So all the press conference, obviously the weigh-in, the media, so all of that stuff, that was great. But I always get nervous in my room, in my hotel, waiting around, and then it gets to a point where I am a dog in a cage, and I can't wait to get in there, and that my mind frame kind of switches. And then when I got to the venue, the nerves then turned into excitement and adrenaline. And when I was there, then I kind of just zoned in and taking it all in as well, which I was grateful for. And, most people, most fighters, they crumble under pressure, and they wish they could go back and relive it. But I don't wish I can go back, because I relived it enough and I soaked it all up.
Yep, look, Pat, to echo what Ariel said, I thought it was fantastic, honestly. I mean, as debuts go, especially considering the amount of pressure you were under, I thought it was almost 10 out of 10. What's it been like from when Matchroom announced you, and it was this big announcement, right? Okay, we're going to announce this superstar. What's it been like from then until now? All the extra media you've had to do, which I guess you hadn't have done before. You didn't even have a Twitter account, Pat. I remember when Sam Jones set up the Twitter account for you. What's it been like from that point to now?
Yeah, it's definitely changed massively. Even in the Olympics, I was obviously quite a big of a face. People knew I could fight and stuff, but I wasn't sort of leading the pack in terms of media, and I was kind of just in the shadows a little bit. Whereas now, obviously, I've had loads of media, and yes, Sam sorted my Twitter account. I still, I look at it here and there, but I'm not big on social media, to be fair. But I know it's part and parcel of the game. And yeah, it's just one of them things. I know if you want to make it to the top of the game, you're gonna have a lot of eyes on you, and this is it. People are going to be talking about you, whether it's good or bad, and you just got to take it with a pinch of salt, and yeah, just keep going forward with it all.
I speak to a lot of fighters, and they always say they never ever forget their debut, right? Not a lot of them had your kind of debut. What was it like when you're coming out and you're doing that ring walk and the crowd is going nuts? I mean, Eddie always said that you're going to sell a lot of tickets and your fans are going to be like football fans. But there's one thing Eddie telling us and us actually seeing it. What was it like for you when you're on that stage walking down and the crowd's going crazy?
Yeah, it was brilliant. I've had it on obviously a smaller scale, so I have tasted it a little bit. But yeah, that Friday night was unbelievable. My adrenaline just went to that next level, and Jamie and Nige were just saying to me, "Just compose yourself, enjoy the ring walk. But when you get in the ring, that's when you switch it on and you keep your head on the job." And that's what I definitely did. I wanted to just give a mature performance. I didn't want to, come out the gates like a racing dog. Like most, pro debuts, that's the way they go. And I wanted to kind of come out slow and steady. And to be fair, he kind of stated his presence in the middle of the ring, and it actually went faster than I thought.
By the way, speaking of that ring walk and speaking of dogs, as you mentioned before, my favorite moment and the moment where I was like, this guy's got it. He's not just some, vanilla Olympian turned pro. He's got that presence. You looked at the camera at one point and you barked at it. I'm like, this guy's a showman right here. I love that sort of thing. Keep that up. That's perfect. Do more of that. I love that sort of thing. What compelled you in the moment to do that?
So I remember in the Olympics, it was the first time where a camera was following me out, and I had all these big bright lights at me, and I had quite a lot who turned up at Paris as well, so they were chanting, and I just thought, everyone does a little hop, they look around, they embrace the crowd, and I thought, I'm going to embrace the camera, people who are watching at home, I'm just going to stare it down and let them feel what my opponent's going to see. And I thought I'll do the same thing. It kind of just came natural, but this time I've actually, with all the the chanting and the adrenaline, I just thought I'll just do a little flint, and and yeah, it kind of just got over me. But yeah, that'll never leave me. That
Do that every time if I can ask for one request. But by the way, can you clear something up for us? You mentioned afterwards, first time putting on 10-ounce gloves. Was it that night? Like you didn't train in them as well?
No, so I've never put a pair of 10-ounce gloves on. I've never punched in a 10-ounce glove. And I always said to myself, the day I do put a 10-ounce glove on will be my pro debut. And when I'm in the changing rooms hitting them pads, I'll feel my fists leaving my body the fastest they've ever left. So, I did that. And Jamie on the pads, he could tell as well. And because I was training big gloves in the gym, because it's kind of like running with weights around your ankle, and then all of a sudden you take them off and bang, you're faster than ever. So I kind of see that with my hands.
You know, with most Olympians, Pat, especially amateurs that have been successful like yourself, there's always this want to fast track them, right? I mean, Eddie's been speaking about the fact that you could go already. English titles potentially, obviously Chev Clark fights Vidal Riley, which I think is a fantastic fight. Do you look at that already, or is it a case of your team decides where you go? Or do you already look at some of those guys above you, Isaac Chamberlain's, if you like, and think, you know what, a couple more fights and I'm ready to go for that?
Yeah, in terms of the number of fights, I don't think about that. But in terms of the opponents and looking ahead, yeah, definitely. You've always got to look at your opponents in the future and keep an eye on them. And you've got to study, and you got to see what the big fights are ahead, because at the end of the day, it's a business, and it's also a stepping stone in the right direction to get a title. So yeah, I look at all these guys. I know I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight them in the future. In terms of the pace that happens, I leave that to Jamie and Eddie to sort out. I'm very much I'm a fighter. That's my job. Jamie's job's a coach, and he'll do his job. And as long as everyone's in the slotted position, I'll get to where I need to get to, one step at a time.
You mentioned the pressure, and it sounds like you can handle that pressure as well. There is a big expectation to kind of build up this Manchester boxing scene, if you like. Jamie Oliver always did fantastic numbers in Manchester. They haven't really been a big ticket seller in Manchester, maybe since Anthony Crolla. They're now expecting you to kind of be that guy to give it that big push again. Do you kind of like that pressure? I know there's a big dream, I guess, to play at Old Trafford, or maybe even the New Trafford, future down the line, who knows? Do you like that pressure as being the guy to kind of put Manchester back on the map?
Definitely, yeah. I've always had a big fan base ever since I was a kid. I remember having my first fight as an amateur, and my dad, he got loads of people there and put a lot of pressure on me, and everyone was expecting me to be this knockout artist. And I actually lost my first amateur fight, and you know, I've had pressure all the time as a kid, especially with people expecting me to do massive things. And if I can fill that void, and I can be, you know, marching forward first, and then I can bring the Manchester fighters through behind me, it'll be a great honour and privilege. But I don't want that to come across patronising, you know, to the Manchester fighters, because, you know, there's loads of them, and they're all very, very talented. And if any of them can do it before me, I'd take me out off to them.
I'm just some know nothing Yank, but I heard you guys say Old Trafford. I think a soccer or a football club.
Oh, stop your nonsense, Ariel. Stop your nonsense.
Did you happen to catch the game that just ended? I won't bring it up, Pat. This is about you. I think it was 1-0, but I'm not sure. I wasn't sure about the standing. We won't bring it up. It's okay. City Ground has been a tough place for everyone. We won't bring it up. Eddie likes to say that you're the future face of boxing, British boxing. You're the guy. You're going to be the next AJ. You're going to be that guy. Do you agree with him? Do you think that you are the next face, the future face of British boxing?
I believe I'll be the next face of British boxing. If I didn't believe that, I think something would be wrong. You know, every fighter wants to be the next face, don't they? Obviously, in terms of being the next AJ, that'll be obviously unbelievable. But I want to bring a different sort of character. I want to bring, you know, the old school boxing back, like the Hatton days and Eubank Den and stuff like, you know, ferocious and just proper fighting men. I'm not saying you don't get proper fighting men now, because you certainly do, but I feel like boxing has become a little bit of a circus now, and, you know, loads of swearing, loads of this, loads of that. But boxing needs to go back to the drawing board. You know, kids are looking up to you. You need to show them respect and manners, because that's what you learn in the grassroots level gyms, and that's gone missing in boxing, and I'm here to bring it back.
I'm sure you had every promoter in the country wanting to sign you. Just curious, why did you pick Matchroom and Eddie Hearn?
My gut I kind of just felt like it's a family-run business. And when I was sat there in front of Frank and Eddie, when I laid down on the table what I wanted, and they said they could deliver, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to just, take your word for it. I've seen what they've been like with Tony Bellew. Tony Bellew's massive on loyalty, like I am, and they've done a good job with him. Same with AJ, they did a good job with him. Johnny Fisher, and I just thought, they're really getting behind me here. They've not done that for many fighters since, obviously, the names I've listed there. And yeah, I just went with me gut. Obviously, spoke to a lot of people around me as well, and they thought the same thing. And so far they've delivered with everything they've said, and the choices has been right.
Some big fight cards coming up for Matchroom in the next 4 or 5 months. Any chance you jump on one of those? No injuries from your last fight, right? No niggles. Are you okay to go as soon as possible?
Yeah, I'm okay to go as soon as possible. I get back straight in the gym. It's looking like Eddie mentioned, June time in Birmingham. So we'll see what happens there, and it'll be nice to kind of be on the undercard for it and just experience, not being the face of the show.
I think you'll still be the face of the show, Pat. I think that's the problem. You'll probably still.
It's only headliners from here on out.
It's only main event from here on, Pat. Pat, Ariel asked about Frank Smith and Eddie Hearn and why you joined Matchroom. Why Sam Jones? We had Sam on a few weeks ago. I think Sam's fantastic. I think he's a great character. I almost feel like he is a promoter in waiting. But why Sam? Why not other managers?
So I had obviously a good few managers messaging me as well. And I feel like with Sam, it was more of he's already in the gym. He's with Jack. He's with Cameron. He was part of the furniture a little bit. So it was hard to keep away from him anyway. And to be fair, I just kind of I looked at him, and he is like a promoter. And I look at all the fighters he's got underneath his belt, and they're all active. He manages them correctly. None of them are sort of in the dark, out the way, and they're not doing good. Everyone knows his fighters, and I just thought, don't go off like people. He's like Marmite, isn't he? People like Sam Jones, and some people don't. But I go off his results, and at the moment, his roster of fighters that he manages, they're all flying, and they're all doing well.
He's going to love that question, Ade. He's going to clip it off.
He's going to clip it. He told me to ask it. He just sent me a message saying, ask this question.
I knew it because he asked me earlier and I ignored him. I mean, he's going to tag us. He's going to clip it off. Oh, you just did him a great favor.
Don't get me wrong, though. Don't get me wrong. He has surprised me because, in the world of boxing, you have got to be careful for snakes and people backstabbing you. And at first, I was very wary of Sam Jones, but he is starting to warm up to me. Okay. But not too much. I'll always keep him at arm's length, and he knows that.
Smart. Use that distance. Use that reach, that length of yours. I watched the stoppage. Again, the ferocity, the power, the strength. I mean, you're a killer out there, my man. And so we can't wait to watch you grow. See how far this goes. It's going to be a great story to follow, and I think they should have done more to promote your signing. I think they should have been even louder about it. So I just
what more could they have done? What are we talking about?
They did a fantastic job. The whole team over there at Matchroom. So well deserved, well earned. Congratulations, and looking forward to the next one. Thanks for joining us.
Well done, Pat.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, and I'll see you again soon.
Yes, there he is, Pat Brown. I'm excited about him, Ade. I'm excited about him.
He's perfect. He speaks well.
Yeah,
he could be that guy, isn't he? I feel like Matchroom might have got something here.
What a signing for them, really. What a signing. Because now as some of these older guys, the Furies and the AJs of the world, we talked about Joe Joyce, who everyone thought might be next, are getting up there. Dubois is still out there, and they're still big names. You need that next generation. And there's Moses as well. But God, I was so impressed by his power. And I'm very interested in seeing how quickly they push him, because I feel like there's a shift that's happening in boxing where guys aren't waiting for their 30th pro fight to be tested, right? We've seen it with some of the Cubans. We've talked about this, the Andy Cruzes of the world, the Dave Morrells of the world. I wonder how quickly they put, does he start to take those fights in his 10th? Is he starting to be, you know what I mean?
Right. I mean, there's so many good cruiserweights over here, very good, well-known, named cruiserweights. So they can match him difficult straight away before you even get to world level. So they'll find out how good he is just by fighting the guys over here before they
like a Chris Billum Smith type?
maybe not that so quick, but there is
all right.
Isaac Chamberlain's like the English champion. Again, I mentioned Chev Clark and Vidal Riley fighting for the British title. It'd be interesting to see how far they think he is away from that. And I guess we'll know by the end of 2025, early 2026. Sam pushes his fighters. So Sam, it might be Sam that has to calm down a bit with him. I feel like Eddie and Frank might have to take this one and say, okay, Sam, calm down. Let's kind of build him slowly because, again, he is young and you do need to build him slowly. You don't want to sort of kill off a star before they become a star.
Yeah, I kind of wish that he was fighting on the Tottenham Hotspur card just because there's going to be such a big audience there and so many eyeballs on boxing in your country, in the UK. But, I mean, headlining in your debut, and I think he sold like 2,000 tickets or something like that just on his own. Pretty remarkable stuff.
I don't know how you go back to an undercard slot, especially unless the person in front of you is like a superstar, like a real big name. Again, like Eubank Ben, then fair enough. Okay, undercard slot. But if it isn't that, I mean, it's going to be very difficult to push him away from the main event slot. And why push him away? Let's just all get on the hype train until the wheels come off. I can't wait to see where this goes. He speaks really well, good looking kid as well. I think he kind of ticks all the boxes, but this is boxing. We'll see. I've seen a lot of good fighters that kind of tick all the boxes and it doesn't quite go there. I hope it's not the case for Pat Brown.
Well, one man who has ticked all the boxes throughout his entire career is the legendary bronze bomber himself, the one and only Deontay Wilder, who we found out late last week is in fact returning to action on June 27th in a 10-round fight against Tyrell Herndon, and he is kind enough to be joining us at it right now. What a great honor this is. Bomb Squad! The great Deontay Wilder in the house. Wow, this is amazing. Hello, Deontay. How are you?
Hey, how you guys doing? Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine. What are we driving over there, Deontay? You're looking like a king. You're looking like a boss out there.
I'm trying to set it up so it's no sun. It's a beautiful day out here, man. It's a day that we should rejoice and be glad in it. I mean, we've been going through so many different types of weathers and stuff around the world, and to see a beautiful like this shining is to be praised. I'm in my Rolls right now, so I love a good old Rolls Royce.
Yes,
it's nothing like it. You know what I mean? It's like a spaceship on the road.
Yes, I've heard. I've heard. We're doing great, and we're very excited to be talking to you. And we were obviously very excited about this news and intrigued by it as well. Can you tell us the why? Why are you coming back? Why are you coming back on this date against this opponent with these promoters? Tell us the whole story, because I do believe this is the first time that we're having a chance to hear from you.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, the opportunity came about. Well, we've had many opportunities, but we've had to get a lot of things out of the way. Like recovery. Yeah. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Yep. The video's choppy, but we could still hear you.
Okay, sounds good. I'm gonna pull over to the side where I can have a more steady connection.
Okay, but you can keep talking because we can hear you.
Okay, yeah. We've been doing many different things. We're just doing many different things, but just staying in shape most of all. And because we knew we was gonna return, we just didn't have a certain type of date to return in because of all the injuries that I had and the outside, all the different things outside as well that was going on. So, we wanted to make sure I was just fully healthy, physically, mentally, and emotionally. I had to take a wellness check. So I had to, sit back and get a lot of things together in my life and things that was going on around me, and give myself a chance at the moment. So, especially with the shoulder injuries, anyone know about a shoulder injury? Know let's just turn around. No, that's one of the babe. Just turn around up in there. That's one of the longest injuries that you can go through. And I ended up injuring my shoulder at one point in time, and they healed. And then I ended up having an accident and then falling on that same shoulder. And then I had to start the process over again. So 24 hours, all I had was pain 24 hours. Every time I threw my right hand, it would be nothing but pain, pain, pain. So I had to really deal with it. You know, I gotta have a high tolerance in pain. Yeah, just park over here. I have a high tolerance in pain, so I had to deal with a lot of the different things. But, you know, make a long story, babe, what are you doing? What are you doing? You ain't gotta just go.
We hear you, Deontay. We're all good.
Just dealing with a lot of different things. But make a long story short, man, I'm fully healed with everything. I don't have no more pain at this point in time, and all my burdens have been cut loose from me. So, you know, I'm free, as I can say. And the mission is I still gotta unify the division. That's one of the main things that I came in and a goal that I set for. I never had a true opportunity to get that accomplished, you know, due to other circumstances of different obligations of other people, but I never had that opportunity. And we still here, you know, I'm still young, I'm healthy, and I'm saying throwing them V's up because I'm a veteran now, and it feels good to be in this position, to be so successful at what I've done and been able to build how I've built outside of the ring, and still wanted to continue, you know, and to be here. So, you know, I still, you know, it's still a lot of excitement to go, and you know, who better to bring the excitement, especially when Deontay Wilder is fully healthy, physically, mentally, and emotionally. So, you know, here I am, man, yet again, pursuing myself at becoming, you know, a unified champion.
Well, there's so much to take away from that. Firstly, it's great to hear that mentally, physically, you're in a great space. I think that's the most important thing from what you just said. Was there any questions or any thoughts about retirement after the last fight against Zhang? Was there any sort of point in time where you sat down and you was like, okay, do I still have what I know I used to have? Was there any questions in your mind whatsoever?
Yeah, now there was never no retirement questions in my mind whatsoever, because I couldn't understand what was going on with me at the moment in time. I couldn't pinpoint why certain things were happening, certain events was occurring, and after the Zane fight, I caught it. I finally realized what was going on with me, and I immediately took actions at that. And I had called Shelly, which is my manager. I said, Shelly, I know what it is now. Like and we, you know, we shared some deep thoughts and some different things that night, and I immediately went and got help for it, and a lot of other different things. You know, I dare not to share to discuss, but you know, in my mind, retirement was never there, because I know I was unfinished. You know, I'm so much better than my past outings. I'm way better than what I've been doing. You know, everybody knows that, you know what I mean? And certain things that happened to me, certain events, certain things have altered my way of thinking, you know, and so in a bad way. I had to go out and get help, man, you know, and but I'm back.
Yeah, and I mean, I've sat down and spoke with you a few times, and it's good to see this energy. I always want and hope to see this kind of Deontay Wilder energy, and it's nice to see you smiling, nice to see you in a good space. Ariel asked you, why are you back? And you mentioned, you know, you want to unify, so you want to become a world champion again. The landscape's changed in boxing, right? The guys that you were chasing or wanting to fight are kind of on the back nine, if you like, to use a golf reference. AJ, we don't know what's going on for him. Tyson Fury's retired. Is the aim Dubois then? Is the aim Alexander Usyk? Who is the aim? Is there a fighter, or is it a belt, regardless of a fighter?
I mean, I'm like any other boxing fan. I just want the best fights that's possible. You know, we understand that in this business that nothing lasts forever. I mean, even in the world, I mean, we all have an expiration date. You know, all things have an expiration date and a time where that may present itself. And, you know, so the same rules apply in boxing, you know. And for that reason, I'm not looking for any particular, but I want the best of the best. Whoever the best in the division, that's who I want. And all fighters feed off of each other. Even when the excitement, when I brought the excitement back years ago, and the thrive when everything was roaring and the excitement was back at the heavyweight division. You had even retired fighters wanted to come back because the energy was so crazy. And I'm looking to do it again. And we'll see we know certain fighters are on their way out, and certain fighters are just staying, maybe study for now to see what's going on or whatever. But they're not out. No one has said they're retired. And for that reason, we can only hope for the best of things. But I'm not looking for any particular. I'm just looking to make the heavyweight division exciting and fight the best that the best has to offer.
Well, the first test in this new chapter comes on June 27th in Wichita, Kansas. Did you know back in January of 2019, your opponent on that night in June, Tyrell Herndon, like I said, posted this on Instagram? Have you seen this? As of late, manifesting idols become rivals eventually. This is January of 2019.
Shit, that is crazy.
How about that?
I never seen this. Hey, but it is a true thing. It is. I mean, the universe is big, and I always say, speak it, believe it, receive it. And what you think and what you say in the world will manifest. It will. That's why a lot of things we go through in life, that sometimes we want to point fingers instead of pointing at the person that's in the mirror, and because sometimes we may have said things or thought a certain way and brought it up into existence and not even realized it, but have to go through the trials and the tribulations of it. And hopefully there ain't too much turbulence that you can't overcome it. But when you do, you be like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you.
Amen.
You live on to tell another story. But, without a great test, you can't have a greater testimony.
Why him as your return fight? Why Tyrell?
Well, Tyrell, I let my coaches and stuff analyze a lot of the guys, and we was looking to try to come back. We had options of coming back and fighting, in big opportunities, I would say, and already coming back out. But we didn't want to take that route. We wanted to make sure that I say I'm good and everything is good, like no doubts. Because many times I have said that I was good, but maybe had a little doubt. I never had a point in time in my life where I lost my confidence in myself. Things got so crazy in my life, that it altered my mindset, and I lost confidence in myself. And I never thought I would, be a man to be able to do that. But certain things in your life, and you have certain people around that you will never think that would break your heart. And when they do, it changes you. I never had hate in my heart, but now I do. And before anyone would tell me, oh, you don't need to have hate in you, all this and that, I tell people I live my life, you live yours. And I need a little sprinkle of hate in my heart to complete the recipe, because I did get a little too soft. And when when life is so good and you take care of everybody and everybody in your face and shit's going good, and when you don't want to do nothing for nobody, and you start finding out certain things and things start happening, man, and you feel like you done so much for people, and you benefited nothing from them when they've benefited everything from you, every fucking thing. And you see the backstabbing,
Deontay,
and the manipulation.
Can I ask who you're specifically referring to?
Not at the moment in time. I'm just telling my story, and the people's are ghosts at the moment in time. But all the truth will be revealed in the near future.
Okay.
And I'm just telling you about my journey and what I've been through, and without stating names or anything like that, it's just my journey of what I've been through. I've always been the realest fighter, not only just a heavyweight, the realest fighter in the business, to tell it how it is. It's nothing that I've said in my career that I've lied about. Everything I said, I got valid proof. I got everything. You know what I mean? I tell people I risk my life for others' entertainment. So with that being said, I dare not to sit here and tell the listeners that are listening and the viewers that are viewing my face and my lips moving, I would dare not speak a lie upon anything that I say. And many people want to use what your words and say, oh, those are excuses and stuff. If whoever, what ears that may consider that to be. But if the saying is the truth has set you free, then I've been free a long time ago. You understand me? When I speak because I am free. I speak my truth. I speak my peace. And how anybody receiving and dissect it from that point on, then that's up to them. I can't control that. I can only be who I am and speak like I known to speak, and that's from the heart. And sometimes my passion gets in, and I may get a little rowdy because I'm passionate about what I say. But you know, my journey has been what it is, and I'm here. I'm alive. I'm well alive, and I'm ready to go again. You know, I'm not. It's not over. I said I'll die for what I believe in, and here I am again. They always want to.
Oh,
he was cooking right there.
Oh no, and I didn't even want to interrupt. I just let him cook.
Yeah.
When he gets into that flow, you just
he's back. He's back. Are you back, Deontay?
You know, when hello, can you hear me?
We hear you now. Yeah, we lost you for a second there, but now we hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can. I can hear you.
Okay,
and
keep
they
going.
say, and if that's so, then they say, and if that set you free, then I've been free. I've been free, bro. I've been free, and here I am now. I'm ready to continue. I'm ready to continue on. Many people wonder how you fall and you get back up and you keep going. Because many people, it was some majority of most people would fail in life, especially on a major platform where millions of people that knows you or may see you. They may not even have to know you, but they're just that point of a human being surfacing in this world, walking through life, knowing there's something that they failed or may seem like they failed, because you ain't failing, you're still alive, you're still breathing, you can still keep going. And I am the example. I am the light of the way. You know, y'all may not see me many times.
Well, the group that is bringing this fight together, that is making it happen, that's putting it on, is Global Combat Collective. They are headed up by Nelson Lopez Jr. and Joshua Chase. They're the ones putting on this event on June 27th in Wichita, Kansas. You can watch it on BLK Prime. And they're doing big things over there as well, because I understand that Nelson Lopez Jr. Is now, let me get this right, they are putting on a promotion called Trigon Combat. It's an innovative promotion featuring the BKB, the bare knuckle boxing signature triangle ring. We've seen this before with some other promotions, most notably BKB. And Nelson Lopez has left his role at Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship to take the reins as the CEO and co-owner of Trigon Combat. And perhaps that will mean that we'll get a little Deontay Wilder action in that world as well. Who knows? Wow. Let's bring in Nelson here for some insight into all of this. Nelson, thank you very much for the time. Great to have you on. We appreciate you very much. So first, tell us, being a part of GCC and making this event for the return of Deontay Wilder in Wichita, Kansas, how did it all get done? Oh, wait, we don't hear you. Oh. Are you muted?
There we go. First of all, thank you first for having me on. Watching the show, being a fan, and is unreal. You know, the company just started. Basically, I managed, trained, and promoted. Did every role I could with Alicia Baumgartner since the day she was an amateur 10 years ago, and from amateur fights all the way to unification of her fight. we decided, me and my team decided to create Global Combat Collective because I wanted to bid against the fight that was happening for her for the WBC belt during the time of this whole steroid scandal, right? It took 8 months to get there, but during that 8 months, I was thinking, it's time for me to step up. Like Deontay, I've done so much for so many other companies for their benefit, and I've never been on the ARIEL Helwani show, but I have been a key component in even Deontay, even Adrian Broner. I worked for Al Heyman for 8 years and Top Rank and all the top promotions, which are just 3 or 4, but I was a key figure in bringing a lot of value in that. And then I dedicated so much time to BKFC and helped bring that to fruition too, all of my time. And everything just aligned perfectly where Alicia needed me to step up and bid on that WBC belt, which you know how the belts are. It's weird, but I know that I outbid the big dogs of Matchroom. And I did an all-female card in Georgia in a fully immersed studio, and that gave us Global Combat Collective. That Alicia's journey, my journey, learning throughout the years, we put it together with all the teams that I've gathered, eliminating the bad guys and putting on the good guys. And now it was something as a gap that needed to be filled in combat sports. No one was really paying attention to the ladies, and me, my whole career, I was focused on figuring how to get to Alicia to an undisputed world championship. Whether she was the B side, the A side, or whatever it was about strategic and facilitating and just putting her in the right places. And now here we are being able to grab the bull by its horns, being in the driver's seat, and is absolutely unreal. Like that is the way it's coming about. And here we are doing a Deontay Wilder fight. I pinch myself because I'm like, Deontay Wilder is not only just a heavyweight that reigned the heavyweight division for 5 years, 2015 to 20, right?
Yeah.
But he's the last American world champion heavyweight. The last one before that was Shannon Briggs, or I believe Hakeem Rockman had a belt between 2006 and 07. And to be able to represent a fighter like Deontay Wilder and provide and see his passion of not just a comeback. This is not just a comeback. It's named Legacy Reloaded for a reason. It's not that, let me see if I still got it. Deontay has it. He knows he has it. I've been watching him work. He's hungry. He's healthy. His mind is right. You see how he talks. He's a different human being, and he's all positive. He's healthy. He's ready to go, and it's not about a comeback. It's really Legacy Reloaded. He's ready to make that legacy, and that's what we're trying to help him do.
Nelson, congratulations with your success. Congratulations, especially with Alicia Baumgardner. Me and Ariel talk about her on this show probably once every couple of weeks, Ariel. We always mention Alicia Baumgardner and what she's been able to do and what I think she will do in the next few years. How did this Wilder thing come about? Wilder, as you say, one of the hottest names in boxing. Wherever he goes, he creates chaos just because of his character, his persona. And I know Matchroom would have been looking at him. Queensberry would have been looking at him. Riyadh season again, potentially. How did you and Wilder get this connection to kind of do this fight?
Well, to be honest, when you own a franchise, you're supposed to learn every single job in that business. Not that you have more money, not that you have the right location. It's about having knowledge of every single component in that business. And the reason why these kind of opportunities come about is like, Nelson, do you have an investor? Nelson, do you have a venue? Nelson, do you have an opponent? Nelson, do you have a state, a hotel, a production? Nelson, do you have a network? And I got asked about 5 or 6 of those questions, and I said, I have them all. And I said, thank you for calling me. And I know Deontay's, Jay and Shelly, and I've worked well with them, and they've been a professionals, and they've been responsive, and it's hard in this business because this business is like, yeah, I can do it. And next thing you know, it's like, no, you can't do it. And I said I could do it from the beginning, and once the ink was dry, they were like, wow, this guy Nelson really did it. And and here we are. Here we are. It's just an opportunity for me. Like I said, it was handed to me from all those little aspects of like facilitating someone to do the event. And I say, guys, well, why don't I do the event? If you need a license, if you need this, if you need that, why don't I do the event? And here we are.
Deontay, can I ask you, any chance of seeing you do a little bare knuckle? There was some talk of you doing some MMA for a second, crossing over. Any chance of you on a Trigon combat card?
I don't know about bare knuckle. That's just
hold on, Ariel. The Trigon uses an MMA glove.
Okay.
The pros use a 4-ounce MMA glove, and the amateurs use a 7-ounce MMA glove. So look, the Clarissa Shields, the Alicias, the Amanda Serranos, they've already put that 4-ounce MMA glove.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, if it's a glove, if it's a 4-ounce glove or something like that, I'm all in. You know what I mean? I ain't going bare knuckles.
Ooh, that's scary.
Yeah, let's go.
You put the 4 ounces something. That's you're gonna have to sign a lot of other different contracts. You're gonna have to come along.
Don't worry, Deontay. Don't worry. We'll talk. Let's focus on this, okay?
Let's focus on this. Can I ask you, we had Turkey Al-Sheikh on recently, Deontay, and he said that he was trying to do you versus Francis Ngannou, and Francis is still without an opponent, and I think this is the matchup that everyone's been talking about. Was that ever seriously brought to your attention? And if not, are you still interested in a potential fight against Francis Ngannou in either boxing or MMA or Trigon?
I mean, I don't know how much I can say, but I'm gonna say on this part. I mean, me and Francis, that fight always been. It still comes up. It came up 2 more times. You know what I mean? Not too long ago, to be exact. You know what I mean? Not too far away. Maybe a couple of months ago. Ain't too far for me, but we're just trying to figure out how they want the segment to go with me and Ngannou. I'm definitely interested. He is as well. You know what I mean? It's just, I guess it's just a matter of just a time. Time is always the matter of all things. And then when you execute that, you get a place and a date, and you get things, and then you start the promoting, and then things get popular. So I think that's something that's gonna be created, something that's looking to be done. You know what I mean? Just like getting everything together and all the detail in and stuff like that. So yeah, people can look forward to that. I'm looking forward to that. So stay tuned.
Yeah. Stay tuned indeed. Fans will be happy to hear that. Nelson, with regards to yourself, obviously, look, so many BKB events you got planned coming up, and good luck. Is there going to be more boxing events post Wilder? Are you looking to do some more before the end of the year?
Yeah, I'm looking at doing something. I'm very focused on the Trigon. We're working slow on that. Boxing is my passion. Boxing is where I come from. And yes, I did the bare knuckle for a long time. Learned a great deal, with marketing and just everything, all the aspects. But I really want to focus on getting a couple more shows this year and another all-female event as well.
One last one for Deontay. Deontay, give us the hit list. Who are the names? You got Tyrell, June 27th, Wichita. It goes great. Who's next? Is it AJ finally? Who is it? Give us the names right now. The next 3.
Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me, Ariel.
Let's go.
This Deontay Wilder AJ thing.
Do it to him,
Deontay.
Do it to him.
For a decade,
Stick that knife
in
his heart right here. Come on, man. American to American. Let's go. Tell us the hit list.
Let's go.
Yeah. Well, right now we got 2 scheduled right now for sure. We're looking to do another one in December. I think this year's gonna be filled with. I think this year's gonna be filled with just making sure I'm back tuned up. I'm tuning myself up, making sure I'm where I say I am, and not have no doubts. Not just saying it, but still have the doubts as well. And hopefully I pick it up along the way, in camp or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you got to psych yourself out. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like bring yourself back to life. You got to put them shocks on you and see yourself. Sometimes you got to speak things, and then, even if you ain't confident, like, hopefully you find it. But no sparks was in it. By the time it happened, the sparks was gone. So we want to make sure that when I'm saying this shit, I'm saying it with my whole fucking chest, and my heart is inside of it. So, you know what I mean? So I know I'm good. So we're trying to get 3, but we got 2 lined up for sure right now. One is here in Kansas, and the other ones is out of the country. So, and then we don't know what the next one's gonna be. I'll leave that up to my managers there, and the team. So, and we're gonna be, just trying to get ourselves back together, and then come next year. Yeah, game on, baby.
Who's the second one against?
I can't say, yeah.
Okay.
Ariel always asks questions. He knows you can't answer them. He always does this.
I'm not going to, because, we ain't going to move ahead. You know what I mean? We're not going to move ahead. I keep it for that element. We're going to be in somewhere, we're going to be out of the country, somewhere in Korea, somewhere South Korea.
Oh, wow.
And, and that's it. That's all I would say.
All right. Okay. Well, much love, Deontay. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome back. This was a great privilege and honor for us. Great to see you in great spirits and revved and ready to go. It's a beautiful sight to see. Everyone's very excited about that. And Nelson, good luck and congratulations to you and the whole team at GCC, everything that you guys are doing with GCC and Trigon. We will be watching, and we are looking forward to it. June 27th, Wichita, Kansas, BLK Prime. It's going to be a great scene seeing the Bronze Bomber back. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
There.
Squad.
There it is.
Without it.
You still got it. Love it. All right. Well, there you have it. The absolute legend himself, Deontay Wilder. Wow. All right. So what do you feel? What do you feel now?
I'm excited.
I mean, you know what it is? He's got that thing, right?
He's got that thing. He's just got that thing. And, I like what he said as well. Like, he could have said AJ. He could have said, okay, I want this guy, I want that guy. It's like, okay, let me get past Tyrell. Let me have one more, and then we'll see where I am. And I like the honesty there, because a lot of people, including myself, are like, okay, look, if Wilder wants to come back, go straight in with a top 10 guy. But he's like, no, I need to see where I am. And maybe that's a fight, Kat. Maybe that's a fight. And we're going to find out in June. And then I guess we're going to find out in Korea, which is interesting, in December. So I don't know, man. I know where I'd prefer Wilder to be, and that's probably not in the ring anymore. But we have seen, as we said at the top of the show, so many fighters do these massive U-turns where you think they're done, and all of a sudden they get a couple of wins and they're right back. He looks healthy. He certainly doesn't look like a guy that's going to be 40 in October. He looks really young, so I wish him the best of luck.
Here's the thing, Ade. There's a lot of boxing shows out there. A lot of them talk about the news. We talk to the newsmakers, all right? Pat Brown, Deontay Wilder. That's the difference, okay? That is the difference. Let's talk about some news from this past weekend, all right? Let's talk about Sandy Ryan and Michaela Mayer. The first fight was an all-time classic. The second was just as good. This time around, though, not as close, no controversy whatsoever. Very happy for that before the fight, during the fight, after the fight. Michaela Mayer is all the way back, and she is very comfortable at welterweight. What a performance out of her in Las Vegas, and afterwards calling out Lauren Price for another big clash with another Brit. Your thoughts on what she did on Saturday?
Yeah, she just made the adjustments, right? It was always boxer versus puncher. Michaela Mayer was always the boxer of the two, right? A great amateur record. And Sandy Ryan was the kind of brawler of the two. But Michaela just made the adjustments. And even when it got tight, I think round 9 was a good round for Sandy. Michaela was just so smart. She was holding on, clinching, all the dark arts of the sport of boxing. And she just found her way to, wasn't comfortable, but it was a lot more comfortable than the first fight. The first fight was really close. So Michaela Mayer just looks really, really good. She's now a fully fledged welterweight as well. Let's not forget she jumped up from super feather. That's a big jump. It's going to take a while for the body to get used to holding that extra weight in the ring. And now we wait to see who is the number one in the division. Some will make a case for Michaela Mayer. Some will make a case for Lauren Price. We need to find out. So hopefully it's a fight that can happen in the summer. Hopefully Ben Shalom and Top Rank and Boxer can come together and work something out, because she called her out. Lauren Price responded and said, yeah, let's do it. So there should be no hurdles. I feel like the only hurdle be Michaela Meyer coming to the UK. Her record of coming to the UK has not been great. She feels like she doesn't get a fair shake. So will Lauren Price go to America? That could be the only stumbling block.
Well, I feel like a lot of people have been trying to get their licks in on Top Rank. They know that the deal with ESPN is coming to an end, and they're trying to say like they aren't what they once were. But you look at this card, Michaela, the Top Rank fighter, wins. I'm very high on Shushu Carrington, the pride of Brownsville. He had another big win. Brian Norman Jr. had another big win. They had that show here in New York not that long ago with the likes of Keyshawn Davis looking so good. Like, they've got some young stars. They've got some studs.
Agreed.
They've got some absolute studs. So this is a big year for them as they look for their new home. Who knows where it will be? Honestly, we have no idea. But they've got some people that, especially if you're an American boxing fan, you need to start paying attention to and you need to be excited about.
Yeah, I mean, that card that we spoke about in small MSG, a couple of months ago with Keyshawn Davis was stacked with young talent. Xander Zayas on the card, again, someone that I'm always excited about. Jared Anderson, who I still think there's something there with Jared. Don't write him off. Yeah, and then you mentioned Shushu, who I think's really good. Calling that Nick Ball, I like it, right? Got the mic and called out everyone. Brian Norman, right? Is he the dark horse in the welterweight division? Is he the best champion? We wait to see, but there's a lot of talent there. There's a lot of good girls there as well. So you're right. If I'm Bob, I'm not worried. I know I'm going to get a very good contract with someone because look at the talent I've got. Look at the stable I've got, and look at the history of getting champions to the very top level and making those champions into stars. No one's better at this than Bob. No one's been doing it longer than Bob. So I think Top Rank are in a very good space right now. I feel like they're going to have an output deal with several broadcasters. I feel like they're not going to commit just to one, and we could see Top Rank on a few different platforms. That's my hunch.
Well, I love Bob. I mean, who knows how old he is? What is he, 92, 93? He's still at
No one knows. No one's seen the certificate.
And he's still got the fastball. He's still out there throwing zingers. The guy is unbelievable. Well, I mean, we need to celebrate this man. And I know promoters at times we don't like to celebrate. And he's been around, I think I saw something 59 years since he last, since his first fight that he ever promoted, an Ali fight against George Chuvalo in Toronto. It's just speaking of which, I have that poster right over there. This is you want to know
here we go.
I know ball. I know ball at Oladipo. Muhammad Ali, George Chuvalo, the first card that Bob Arum ever promoted. You think you know ball, and then I come around. Anyway,
I'm not gonna lie, that's a pretty good get.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good get. I'll give you respect for that one, Mr. Helwani.
Over in Cancun, Mexico. We had a nice card over there. William Zepeda, Tevin Farmer 2. You were at the first fight, I do believe, in Riyadh.
I was.
Latino night. Very close. Somewhat controversial. This time around, perhaps not as close, but Tevin Farmer saying afterwards he thought he was robbed again. Thought he should have gotten the nod. What do you think?
Yeah, look, I thought Zepeda won it just. Farmer's got some reasons to be upset, like that 12th round knockdown, which the referee called a slip, wasn't a slip. Maybe it was a punch behind the back of the head, but it certainly wasn't a slip. And I mean, if that's a knockdown, you just never know, right? But I thought Zepeda did enough. My thing with Zepeda is when this fight was first made, and I'm talking Latino night one, everyone made it like a shoo-in that Zepeda was going to run through Tevin Farmer. And I thought we had something very special with Zepeda. I'm kind of reining my thoughts in a bit now, Zepeda. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're talking about a Shakur Stevenson fight, and if you can't get past Tevin Farmer clear, then you haven't got a chance. You haven't got a hope in hell against Shakur Stevenson, because Shakur Stevenson's like Tevin Farmer on steroids. I mean, he's a lot younger, he's faster, he hits harder. Maybe doesn't have the boxing IQ of a Farmer, because Farmer's IQ is underrated, but Shakur Stevenson is just better. And I may feel that's a bad matchup for Zepeda. I'm not quite sure what Golden Boy do with Zepeda. I mean, you look at the record and you're like, okay, why is Zepeda not fought for a world title? And then you see the Farmer performance and you're like, maybe they know something that we don't know about him. Maybe they're not quite sure about him yet either. So it'd be interesting to see which way they go. The initial route was Shakur Stevenson.
Yeah.
I don't think they go that route.
You're not into it anymore. Why?
Well, I'm into it, but I don't think they're into it.
When you say they, do you mean just Golden Boy, or do you mean Zepeda and Golden Boy?
Just Golden Boy. I think Zepeda, fighters will fight fighters. Fighters will fight anyone. Zepeda will fight him tomorrow. I think Oscar in the team, the matchmaking team, might say, okay, maybe we kind of pump the brakes a little bit, because Farmer was the ideal opponent to kind of test yourself as Shakur, right? And that hasn't quite worked out well.
Well, sometimes like matchups are just tricky. Sometimes one guy just has the other guy's number, and technically it is 2 wins over Farmer, but maybe it's just a style thing. Who knows? Would like to see him take that step. Obviously, Shakur, coming off the win, needs that next challenge. This would be a step up from Padley, obviously, who took that fight on just like 3, 4, 5 days notice. So let's see where he goes from here.
No. It's a big name. It's a big name for Shakur. Shakur will want the fight. It's a big name. I mean, Zepeda's unbeaten. It brings a different audience. I mean, African American, Mexican fights have always done good numbers as well. So I think Shakur will want the fight. I just feel like it wasn't what I thought it would be. And again, it could be a style matchup thing, but I do think Shakur's style is quite similar to Farmer's, just better. So I just don't know how that will play out for Zepeda.
Well, once again, a reminder that Queensberry makes its official global DAZN debut on Saturday in Manchester. You shall be there for the Joe Joyce, Philip Hrgovic fight.
I am. I'm presenting it. It's mine. It's my show. Look, I'm the face of DAZN. That's what they say. That's what they say. I don't say that. That's what they say. But I'm very interested. I mean, that one there, David Adelaide versus Jimmy TKV. I mean, those guys nearly came to blows a couple of days ago. I saw it. I was right there. So that's really interesting.
Where's this? Where did it happen?
At TalkSport. They were both doing their thing on TalkSport. And David Adelaide, he's got a little bit of a mouth. He likes to talk. Jimmy TKV bit. And security had to kind of break them up a little bit. They were going to go. And that's for the British heavyweight title that Fabio Wardley vacated. So that's a really good co-main event scrap. We've had a couple of pullouts, but I think Frank Warren's done a good job of putting the top part of the card still together.
All right, well, that is this Saturday on DAZN, available worldwide. The global home of boxing does it once again. All right, time now for everyone's favorite segment of the week, presented by
the show's
nobody.
Over? Wait 1 second. The show's over?
Yeah, it's over.
What?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. You missed last week. You probably want a few more hot takes, but we got to go. We ain't got to go home, but we got to get the hell out of here, my friend. I got courtside tickets to the Knicks tonight, all right? No time to dilly-dally.
The Knicks have already... Are these cheap tickets because they're already in the playoffs? These are the cheap tickets,
look
right?
At you.
They're already in the playoffs. No one cares. Let's just get there and see what you can do. Get there and see what you can do, Bronson. Get there and see what you can do. Carl Anthony Towns. Get there and see what you can do, Josh Hart. Let's see what you boys can do.
Keep going. Another name?
That's all I know.
That's all you know. Not bad. It's not bad. One of them was injured, but not bad. Let's go back to this past weekend. Let's go to 2022 Commonwealth winner. Do you know who I'm talking about here? Come on, roll the tape.
Brown.
There it is. Silver medalist. Excuse me, I said winner. Silver medalist. Look at this knockout. Taylor Bevan knocks out Alice Makovic with a brutal left uppercut in the very first round to move to 3-0.
That's stunning. The technique on that was stunning.
Can we see that again?
Yeah. Look at us. Look at that.
I want to see it one more time because the power was shocking. It was ferocious.
He didn't even look like he put anything into that.
Look at this. Look at this.
Right. Oh my lord!
Left uppercut.
You know what that reminds me of?
Yeah.
And this isn't to dig out. He's a good friend of mine now, but Povetkin, who's not a good friend of mine, doing that to Dillian White.
Okay.
Doing that to Dillian White. Yeah. No, Povetkin ain't my friend. But that's similar to that. It's just technique. Look at him though. He looks like an Adonis, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Physically, looks fantastic.
So there you go.
It's a good one. It's a good one. That's a good one. It's a good one. I thought you might pick Pat Brown, but
no, but we just showed it. I like to get the obscure ones.
Okay. Cool. That's a good one. That's good.
And I like to surprise you with these. I want to see if you know ball as well. Like
good one.
Muhammad Ali versus George Chuvalo.
Shushu Carrington was a good one. That was a good one.
That was a good one too.
That one as well. How do we not have a sponsor for this segment yet? Like, what's going on?
Unfortunately, with Shushu, we can't show his stuff.
Can't check. What are we not?
We don't have.
We can't show top rank stuff.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I just try to keep it down. You know, we're not trying to ruffle any feathers here. We're trying to be good soldiers. We're not trying.
I thought we're like all encompassing. Like I thought we're just a bit of everything.
Broadcast rights, deals, things.
I get it.
We'll talk
if you
offline
ask them, if you tell me, I can tell them. I can make a phone call. So,
Can you call Bob for us? Bob,
well, not
whitelist us.
I can't call Bob, but I can call someone. I can call Todd DeBuff. I can call.
TD. Yeah.
Melissa. I can call a lot of people. Yeah.
All right, we're out of time. Good to have you back. We missed you. We love you.
Thank you very much.
We look forward to your work.
I'm still sending an invoice in for last week, though. I mean, that's not for free.
Of course, of course.
Yeah,
by the way, are we getting Carl Frampton this weekend? I loved him. Is he?
We are.
Framps is back.
It's me and Carl. Me and Carl.
Wow, first time as well.
It's me and Carl. Yeah, first time working for Carl or with Carl. Yeah,
this is like a world's colliding here. This is amazing.
Dude, it's very strange. This is very much DC and Marvel. I don't know what's going on.
I like Carl Frampton. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
He's great.
No, he is very, very good. One of the best.
Yeah.
One of the best.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we look forward to that. Great job as always. Thank you very much to Pat Brown. Thank you very much to Deontay Wilder. Thank you very much to Nelson Lopez Jr. And most importantly, thanks to all of you for watching. Much love. We appreciate you all so very much. We'll talk to you next week. Enjoy the fights.